I'm Nicole Griffin. Tonight in Greenfield, where a junior high student has tested positive for the coronavirus. We're talking to the superintendent tonight about what parents and students need to know moving forward.
The state reveals how many nursing home workers have tested positive for the virus, and those numbers mean something for the safety of our community.
Several topics to discuss for our first weekend in August: rain, temperatures, and a small severe threat.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins. Right now at 5, a large group of students must quarantine for 14 days after a Hancock County student tested positive for COVID-19. That positive result came just hours into the first day of school. Tonight, RTV6's Nicole Griffin speaks with parents and the superintendent from Greenfield Central Schools about their concerns and what's being done now.
We do know that student who tested positive for COVID-19 here at Greenfield Central Junior High School did attend part of the first day of school. The district now telling us that they have enacted their positive COVID-19 test protocol. Tonight, we're talking to the superintendent about what that means and what parents and students need to know moving forward.
Oh my God, it's just the first day of school.
Kelly Thompson has two sons that attend Greenfield Central Schools. Her youngest just started 7th grade on Thursday. Both encouraged her to let them return to in-person classes despite having the option for virtual learning.
We knew this was going to happen. We all knew that when school started back up that, it was going to eventually happen, but I never imagined it to happen on the first day of school.
Superintendent Dr. Harold Olin says the Hancock County Health Department notified the district of the positive test around 2 p.m. Thursday. The test was already pending before the first day of school. He says they immediately isolated the student that had already attended at least 4 classes.
Beyond that, we begin to contact trace. We find out where that student had been in the building. We'll pull seating charts, have conversations with those teachers, and determine who would be a direct contact, meaning who had been within 6 feet of that student for 15 minutes or longer. Yeah, I'm disappointed. We knew that we would have to institute these protocols at some point. We just didn't think it would be on the first night of school.
Dr. Olin says they will continue to educate parents of expectations. That includes monitoring their children daily. Working for you in Greenfield, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And now a professional cleaning crew is sanitizing the junior high school, disinfecting the entire building every night. The superintendent says he is proud to see parents showing they trusted them to have the building ready by sending their kids back to school today. The state health department has a wealth of information at coronavirus.in.gov that provides guidance for parents and school administrators on how to stay safe at school. For example, there's this daily screening guidance for parents. It says every morning before sending your child to school, you should check to make sure they don't have a fever higher than 100.4 or lower if your child is not feeling well. Also check for other signs of illness that you see on this chart, including congestion, cough, headache, nausea, loss of taste or smell. Another question to ask: were you in close contact within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes with anyone confirmed with COVID-19 in the last 2 weeks? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, do not send your student to school. Begin quarantine of your child and contact your healthcare provider and consider a COVID-19 test. You can find more information at theindychannel.com. Now let's get today's numbers. Confirmed cases of COVID-19 have now topped 66,000 in Indiana, with the addition of 912 more Hoosiers testing positive. They were all recorded yesterday. The overall positivity rate remains steady at 8.9%. 19 more Hoosiers have died from COVID-19, the highest number on this 6-day period. The statewide total is now at 2,765. Only 1% of workers at Indiana nursing homes have tested positive for the virus, yet new numbers also show that most of the state's COVID-19 deaths have happened at long-term care facilities. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny is digging deeper to find out what could explain the numbers.
State officials say for the people who live and work at Indiana's long-term care facilities, this pandemic is life and death. In June, the state tested 46,000 employees at long-term care facilities. 466 tested positive for COVID-19. That's 1%. Numbers also released this week show 60% of the state's COVID-19 deaths have been residents at long-term care facilities. We asked the Indiana Healthcare Association why they represent nursing homes. President Zach Cattell says since the early days of the pandemic, availability of PPE and testing has improved greatly.
We have so many buildings that are COVID naive, and those that have had an outbreak have controlled them and are improving each and every day. And we still have facilities that are serving their communities by taking COVID positive patients and admitting them from hospitals and other areas so that they have the best care available to them and their recovery.
Since the start of the pandemic, facilities have greatly improved their infection control protocols. State officials had hoped June's round of testing would show them trends so they could target future testing, but no such luck. They plan to test all nursing home workers again in August, a key to preventing future outbreaks at nursing homes. So far, 12 workers have died across the state. 1,618 long-term care residents have died from COVID-19. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Well, the state will release its nursing home dashboard in 2 weeks that will have facility level information on cases and deaths dating back to March 1st. The state does not plan to release where nursing home employees worked that have died in order to protect their privacy. More now with our exclusive interview with one of the country's top doctors helping to lead the nation's coronavirus response. Dr. Deborah Birx is a leader on the White House Coronavirus Task Force. She agreed to speak with Rafael Sanchez about the issues Hoosier families are facing during this pandemic. Birx says the government will study how kids did at summer camps to help with reopening of schools and the economy.
There's some early studies that suggest, what I can tell you in that study is children over 10 spread virus in the same way as adults. I think it's still an open question of, do children under 6 carry virus in the same way and spread virus in the same way as a child over 10? There is suggestions from the South Korean study that they don't. But I think South Korea, I've learned not to compare ourselves to other countries. We are just different people and we have different cultures. And we have different ways of dealing with each other. And so really will be the question when we start to study. There's camps that went back this summer, and we'll be able to learn from those camps. What happened in those camps? Did any children get infected? And were there younger age groups that got infected and evidence of spread between that younger age groups? Because camps often keep younger age groups together in separate cabins with their own resident directors. And so we'll be able to learn more from the United States experience to really figure this out.
And coming up tonight on the news at 6, Dr. Birx talks about what keeps her up at night and her fear of who's missing the message. That's at 6. A new poll today shows President Trump's handling of the coronavirus is not sitting well with many Americans. Meantime, tensions are growing as Congress tries to hammer out another COVID-19 economic stimulus package. ABC's Andrew Dimbert explains why it's challenging for lawmakers to strike a deal.
With the pandemic still surging in parts of the U.S. and President Trump trailing in the polls, the president suggesting something that has never been done before, delaying the presidential election, tweeting, "With universal mail-in voting, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote."
You won't know the election result for weeks, months, maybe years after. Maybe you'll never know the election result.
But some officials within Trump's own administration refute this claim.
That ability to audit, to conduct post-election audits is critical to, again, establishing the integrity of the election.
The pandemic creating problems for Trump's re-election bid. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows Trump's approval rating for his handling of the virus is down to 34%, with 66% of Americans disapproving. And on Capitol Hill, lawmakers can't seem to agree on a pandemic economic stimulus plan. Democrats drafted a proposal months ago, now blaming Republicans for the delay in reaching a deal.
That the path that they have taken us down with their delay, their denial, and their distortions have caused death. Speaking alliteratively, has caused deaths unnecessarily.
Democrats have made 0 offers over the last 3 days. 0.
30 million Americans will be impacted from the loss of the additional $600 weekly unemployment checks that have expired. Even if Congress reaches a deal soon, there will be a lapse in benefits.
$600 is important to a lot of households, especially to my household that cannot go back to work.
Elsewhere on Capitol Hill, a fiery debate with administration health experts testifying on the U.S. virus response.
Do the protests increase the spread of the virus?
Scientific evidence that anything, I can tell you that crowds are known, particularly when you don't have a mask, to increase the acquisition and transmission.
Lawmakers are expected to continue stimulus negotiations through the weekend. As for the president potentially delaying the election, he can't. He doesn't have the authority. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Well, I'm not saying you should drop the TV remote and head for the lawnmower, but if you need to mow by tomorrow, then you got to get going by sunset, because I think the rain moves back in and it becomes a very wet Saturday, which will delay mowing. So now is a decent time. I'll show you, though, where some showers are already starting to move back in. 77 in Bloomington, more cloud cover. 82 in Lafayette and Muncie. Temperatures with a little humidity in the air. It's a typical summer day. And this, of course, is it. This is the end of July. You realize, even with our dry stretches, we still pulled off above average precipitation for the month. Near Terre Haute to Sullivan to southwest Greene County, some very light showers starting to return and move to the north and east. As I show you this animation, you begin to see the scattered showers that will be around between 7 and 11 tonight. We'll focus on more widespread rain and a couple other topics of importance for your Saturday and Sunday coming up.
Now still to come on RTV6 News. He was a legend at the track. He knew some of the biggest names in racing and Hollywood. Next, we show you the highlight of a new exhibit paying tribute to a storied team owner. Also ahead here at 5, it's been tough letting go of some of our annual Hoosier traditions, but in Johnson County, organizers of a popular event serving more than 6,000 people weren't ready to let go, so they got creative. TV legend and longtime morning host Regis Philbin is now in his final resting place at his beloved alma mater, the University of Notre Dame. A university spokesman confirmed that Philbin, who died a week ago today at the age of 88, was buried Wednesday at the school's Cedar Grove Cemetery following a private funeral service at the Basilica. Philbin graduated from Notre Dame in 1953 and often returned for football games, banquets, concerts, and other events. The IU football program resumed voluntary workouts today after 6 people tested positive for COVID-19 earlier this month. The university did not specify if those people were players, coaches, or staff. The voluntary workouts were paused on July 17th. IU athletics began bringing groups of students back to campus for voluntary workouts on June 15th. Besides football, those sports include men's and women's basketball and soccer, volleyball, and field hockey. The department has administered 480 tests for student athletes, coaches, and staff. 33 have come back positive and 447 negative. He never drove a race car, but his name and big personality are legendary at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and in auto racing. And now an exhibit at the IMS Museum will celebrate the life of team owner Andy Granatelli. Granatelli, larger than life, opens tomorrow at the museum. Today, we got an early look at what's in store for you. Andy's brother Vince and his son, also named Vince, were on hand. Granatelli and another legend, Mario Andretti, found their way into victory lane at the 1969 running of the Indy 500. That winning car is figured prominently in the exhibit. The Granatellis made the STB oil treatment name and logo globally recognizable. Andy rubbed elbows with A-list celebrities, which helped elevate the status of the 500. The exhibit opens tomorrow and runs through June 20th of next year. Should be great to see. We know many festivals have fallen off the calendar over the concerns with COVID-19, but today in Johnson County, organizers found a way to hold one annual summer tradition. RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reports on those who made it their duty to celebrate near the square in Franklin.
Matthew Wheat will point you in the right direction.
You belong on a racetrack. I told my wife I need some flags. There seems to be too much sadness in the world right now. And so if I can come out here and I can get people to smile, to have, enjoy their day. You never know who's having a bad day, who needs a smile.
On this Friday, the weather cooperated with strawberries on the square in Franklin, a festival which almost fell victim to the pandemic until it was turned into a drive-through. Discover Franklin decided to hold the event under the new health restrictions.
It's finding a balance between safety, keeping everyone as safe as possible, and also serving the community and maintaining that high spirit for Franklin.
How many waters can I get for you today? 2 waters.
This is not Matthew's usual gig. He's better known for being in uniform. He's on active duty, a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army, serving stars and stripes every day, and once a year supporting the sale of strawberries with his own sense of style.
Every time I volunteer, every time I see the look on these individuals' face, it brightens my day, and I know that I'm making the world a happier place.
As you can see, the vehicles kept coming. They're prepared to serve 6,000 people here on the square in Franklin before the end of the day. Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Looks like a great time. The event on the square helps raise money for other events in downtown Franklin. And Kevin, it was certainly a gorgeous day for that or anything else outdoors. But I understand some changes are on the way.
Yeah, perfect timing to get things done through the day today. There are some showers returning, and then a different story. We'll begin August with a wet day tomorrow. Temperatures, they're in the 70s. There are a couple exceptions there I can find. Check out Muncie. Actually, as you go north of Indy, temperatures still managing 80 or above. You've had more consistent sunshine. The clouds are returning to the south with the showers around. As you look at radar, the thunderstorms are along the Ohio River and south. That's where they're most likely to stay. We'll see general showers develop that will drift to the north through the evening hours between now and 11, these hit and miss showers. Let's pick up the timeline. 11 o'clock tonight through the overnight will be warm. Temperatures will stay steady in the mid-60s, if not warmer, and the expansion of showers, maybe a run-able thunder expected, setting the stage for rain for Saturday especially. Sunday can't rule out a shower or thunderstorm, but periods of rain likely in 75 degrees. We begin our unusual start to the month of August because temperatures will be so far below average, and not for a day or two, but for the entire 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, if you have plans, they will be interrupted. Got to be patient. Temperatures in the mid-70s with these periods of rain. There are the spotty showers in the morning. Pick up a little in intensity and heavier rainfall, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Can't rule out an isolated severe storm. It seems that the better chance for severe weather will be in Ohio and West Virginia, areas to the east. The rainfall potential 1 to 2 inches of rain not out of the question as we go through tomorrow into tomorrow night. There are your temperatures again impacted by the rain, staying in the low to mid 70s. A nice northeast wind, 10 to 15 miles per hour with a little higher gusts. Sunday's temperatures again in the 70s. That'll sound like a broken record. The chance for thunderstorms will be lower than what we expect during the day tomorrow. Sunday temperatures coolest in the northeast, a little warmer to the southwest, and that chance for thunderstorms is there. So if you can't get to the yard and mow it this evening, maybe it won't be too wet and you can get it done on Sunday. Temperatures, as we mentioned, are the story into next week. Scattered thunderstorms are again likely as we go on Monday to 78 degrees. As you look at Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures will stay below average. And probably one of the highlights in the 7-day forecast, the low temperatures. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 50s for overnight lows. The average low is 66. That is a nice stretch. Plus, I think, Mark, the humidity just drops out as we get past Tuesday. So low humidity, sunshine, comfortable temperatures. We all win.
Win, 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 win. Sounds perfect to me. Thanks, Kevin, for that. Hey, we've seen countless ways that Hoosiers have come together to help each other out during this pandemic. And one of those is free milk giveaways. Prairie Farms will be giving away milk again, this time in Hancock County and the county fairgrounds in Greenfield. Mark your calendars for these dates and times. This coming Tuesday, August 4th from 1 to 4, and Wednesday, August 19th from 8 a.m. until noon. Just drive through and get your fresh milk. A little boy with a serious message when it comes to protecting his loved ones from coronavirus. That includes his four-legged friend as well. We all want to protect our loved ones from coronavirus, and it's a message a little boy in Ecuador is really taking to heart. Just take a look here. 10-year-old Anthony Hernandez not only puts a mask on himself when he goes out, he also puts a mask on his dog. Anthony lives in rural Ecuador. There have been more than 5,600 deaths from COVID-19 in his country, according to Johns Hopkins University. Pictures of Anthony and his dog, Goody, have gone viral. Look at that. Anthony wants to spread the word that everyone should wear a mask to stop COVID-19. They sure are cute together, right?
Coming up, we'll tell you how one local organization is working to prevent homelessness in Hendricks County.